Hey there, Pre-Calculus. This is Mr. Wilson here. Well, actually, I'm not really there, but I am kind of here digitally, right? So, even though I'm away, we're still going to continue on. Today, we're going to do two lessons, 3.4 and 3.5, looking at complex numbers. So, I'll talk about that a little bit later. But right now, with the people around you, I want you guys to try to figure out what this riddle could be. Okay, so listen, it says you throw away the outside and you cook the inside. Then you eat the outside, then you throw away the inside. What did you just eat? You have until the end of the song to figure this out. Go! up? So did you guys figure it out? Of course you did. So in case you haven't figured it out yet, let's just see if maybe this could help us. Did you, is there any question that possibly we're talking about? Yes, corn. Corn, because we throw away the outside, then cook the inside, then we eat the outside, then throw away the inside, right? Of course. Awesome. I love riddles. Okay, so 3.4, 3.5, complex numbers and complex zeros. So we need to understand complex numbers. That's our first objective. And then we're going to take those things and we're going to add them, subtract, multiply, and all that good stuff, okay? Then we're going to solve equations that have complex numbers as solutions. Okay, so a complex number, well, I guess before I even go there, let's talk about just okay, my sister used to have an imaginary friend. Okay, and imaginary friends are kind of weird because it's like, all right, so you've got the person, right, and then all of a sudden you've got this other person that's in their head, right? So whenever I think about an imaginary person, so if my sister was with her imaginary friend, it's like I couldn't say that they're a couple or like they're both people because one of them is a person and one of them is fake, right? So the relationship between my sister, here I should do sister is like this, right? My sister and then her imaginary friend is, well, it's just complex, right? Okay, so when we're talking about complex numbers in math, you're going to have a real part, like let's say 2. See, 2 is a real number. And then you're going to have an imaginary part, like let's say 2i. Okay, and then they're going to be kind of joined together by either addition or multiplication, stuff like that, subtraction. So this is called a complex number whenever there's a real part and then whenever there's basically an imaginary part. So this is the real, okay, and then this is the imaginary. All right, so this is called a complex number. All right, now obviously you guys can identify the real part real simple because you see that it doesn't have the I. I know you guys have seen this before. The I indicates that it's an imaginary number. So let's keep on going with that. So complex number, here's the format. The A represents the real part and then the B is part along with the imaginary part. Okay, let me get this out of the way.